thoughts and predictions from our guest hosts, Barry Knapp and Richard Bernstein. Barry, what would you tell investors to do right now, for the next month and then for next year?
For the next month, I am really defensively positioned. What's worked in an environment where the Fed's monetizing debt is stocks that with bond-like characteristics that look most like the bond market, and so that's what we're in,
like
the defensive sectors. Yeah, utilities, healthcare, and there is a portion of the market we would like to buy, the capital spending sensitive part, which has been the weakest bit, so enterprise tech and industrials, but only on a correction that forces the politicians into what we describe as a good deal.
So don't do any of that now, then?
No, because the market's in the wrong place given the massive deceleration in earnings we've seen, and it's unlikely to change very much next year. And so this persistent Fed making it more and more difficult to manage fixed income portfolios is probably going to affect that part of the stock market and keep a bid to it. But the more cyclical parts, I don't see them getting out of their own way for some time.
Did you already tell us what you like, small caps?
Small caps. Look, I'll say Wall Street strategists are now recommending the lowest equity allocation in 30 years for a portfolio. Bond fixed income managers are about the most scared they've ever been that rates are going up. Right. I just think people are just way too bearish. We all know about these issues. I mean, we're surrounded by these issues. The market is smarter. The market has discounted this. Valuations are pretty conservative. I just think people should be a little more constructive on the markets, regardless of the politics. I don't care about that, as we discussed before. But the markets are, I think,
China's
actually
better. Yeah, I was reading, they expect Spanish bonds to do. They've been doing too well, supposedly, but all this bond buying over there, maybe it's starting to slowly heal the situation in Europe, so that would be a positive.
That would be a positive. I think, look, I'm more bullish on the United States than I am about the world as a whole, but I think that the world as a whole is starting to heal. And I think that's good for markets.
But then you got the negative externalities. I had to say, what's the biggest threat next year? I mean, I worry about things that just scare the hell out of me, and that's Iran or terrorism and stuff like that. That's always going to be That's the world we're living in. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
It's great having you for the first hour. Should do this more often.
It is nice.
All right, good.